So I have been trying to do another gamer chat for 3 times now. 3 times. In the past week and a half. It's been kind of annoying because I would do the recording, then something comes up, or I didn't like the footage itself, and I decided to wait because of one other detail that came up recently. And now, more details have come out. Welcome to Gamer Chat! So yeah, because of how well the last Gamer Chat did, I decided just to make it into a series in which where I talk about anything video game related. Whether it be topics or subjects, stuff of that nature, compile it all into one single video. Be easier, I thought, instead of having multiple videos and stuff. There's a lot of details that needs to be talked about. A lot of stuff that I want to talk about. Whether it be involving the PlayStation 5 Slim, whether it's the new Kingdom Hearts Missing Link trailer, the Liza P update, and then of course, to tie it all off, I want to talk a little bit about the Disney Once Upon a Studio. So yes, let's get on with it. So first and foremost, we have the PlayStation 5 Slim. It was recently announced some time ago, and needless to say, it was about time to get a new system. I think because if it's been kind of like a tradition that Sony releases a slimmer, smaller version of the same system, and this is no different. Well, actually, it is drastically different, depending on how you look at it, but the only way it's slightly more different is based on the parts itself. More details on it, of course, but let's share all of that. So first and foremost, I think the biggest thing that we need to talk about is the fact that it's just smaller. That's the biggest noticeable detail, is that it is smaller. It is drastically smaller, according to some people, but it seems like it's the same size as a standard PS4 system, which is good. I think it's good. It's also cool that they kept the original design of the PlayStation 5 Slim as best as possible. It's almost like a PlayStation 5 Mini almost. They've also revealed some of the new specs that it's going to have. Obviously, due to chip shortage and stuff of that nature, they've had to change out parts and stuff. So therefore, this is a complete different overhaul compared to its original design. Based on what I read, it's a slight improvement. Not a noticeable improvement, I don't think, but it will have some possible, maybe even better noticeable improvement. I don't know the micro scales of the improvements that these individual parts would have. I'm sure anybody who happens to be a tech expert of these things will analyze them in deep detail. But I was very disappointed that despite the fact that this is technically a new version of the PlayStation 5 system, they still kept it at the 1000 gigabyte / 1 terabyte storage system, which I thought was very disappointing, because in my personal opinion, I felt like if you were to just say, hey, we're going to update the Slim to have a 2 terabyte system, to me, I thought this would be more appealing to sell and stuff, a 1 terabyte isn't enough to carry over. I feel like 1 terabyte nowadays, especially depending on how you look at it, you think about it, each game that you're going to be installing is going to be at least about 50 gigs, so therefore that adds up real quickly. So if you do the math right then and there, and it's not a full terabyte neither, no, it's more like 980 something rather, I don't know, but in terms of amount of data used to run the system and stuff like that, that takes up that space. So in other words, the main system itself is not a full terabyte, sadly, so it kind of sucks. I was hoping that they would give it an extra terabyte, but they did not, I'm afraid. So that unfortunately. They've also confirmed some new details in regards to either accessories or attachment. So for starters, the base PlayStation 5 system has a new horizontal stand, so it looks good. It definitely looks a lot better than the previous one that they had. That one was very terrible. Terrible in my opinion. But this one at least is a lot more sound. It actually goes along well with the Slim, in all honesty. They've also confirmed that they're going to be releasing a vertical stand for the PlayStation 5 as well. Unfortunately, you have to purchase that one, and the price on that one is practically 30 bucks. And I'm like, why so pricey? You know, because I'm looking at the vertical stand and I'm like, that does not look like it would cost 30 bucks. I don't know why it would cost that much. To me, it looks like just a piece of plastic that just gets popped in there. I don't know, maybe they did something slightly different in regards to the vertical stand. Maybe it's made from a harder plastic, I don't know. All I know is that from looking at the image itself of what the vertical stand might look like, it doesn't look like much. And for it to be 30 bucks, that's ridiculously stupid in my personal opinion. That's ridiculous overpriced. But not as overpriced as the added accessory for the disc drive. Yes. So for a while we've had an announcement that Sony was planning on making a disc drive attachment for those who bought themselves a digital only system, and they wanted to have an upgrade path for physical versions. So they did. I'm not sure if it would be compatible for the original PlayStation 5 system, but as far as I know, it will be compatible for the Slim. They've even shown it in this image right here of being able to attach it. Price of it, though, makes me question whether or not it would be worth it, you know? It's like, yeah, even if you did trade it in, you would still be paying out a lot just to get the physical version if you wanted to and stuff like that. Because for the attachment alone, it would be $76. And it's like, ooh, that's pricey. Just a little bit. But then again, it is a Blu-ray disc, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I just know that that was a little bit pricey, I thought, but But I think the biggest question that needs to be asked right now is that, would it be worth it to buy the PlayStation 5 Slim? And it's a simple answer, but it's a situational answer in my personal opinion. But the answer for me is simple, and that is probably not, unless you haven't got a PlayStation 5 system. The only big caveat, aside from the size of the system itself, is that it's going to be a $100 difference compared to the original PlayStation 5 system. The original PlayStation 5 system was like $600, $550 price. Now it is $500, $450 price, from the physical to the digital system and stuff like that. So it's a $100 difference, which isn't a bad price, especially depending on when you're able to get it. According to what they said, they will have this fully stocked by this month. So that'll be interesting if that ends up being the case. But with Black Friday coming up, I'm not sure. It would be nice if they did get enough made to suffice the sales and stuff like that. But I sincerely doubt it. It would be nice though. The other caveat is that, according to Sony, they stated that once all the PlayStation 5 systems from their main warehouses leave to their other distribution centers and stuff like that, that sells them and everything, they will no longer carry the warranty for the original PlayStation 5 system. Which means if for whatever reason your original PlayStation 5 system just ends up stop working, whether it's because of the fan and easy overheating, or disk drive doesn't work, or whatever reason it might be, they will not carry the warranty. Which makes sense. I thought it kind of makes sense, especially since they are changing the parts entirely for the Slim. So it kind of makes sense as to why they wouldn't carry the warranty for the original PlayStation 5 system. To me, that just makes sense. You know, depending on who you are, maybe you want to upgrade to the Slim. I don't know. It's completely up to you. But to me, my PlayStation 5 system works fine. I don't have any problems with it at all whatsoever. And really, in all honesty, I like it. You know, it's grown to me a little bit, and I do like it. If I had waited as long as I did, yes, I probably would have gotten the Slim. But thankfully, I did finally get it at the beginning of this year, and I haven't regretted it since. Now let's talk about Kingdom Hearts. Weird subject, right? To jump into that. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was announced literally over a year ago. And we hadn't had any extra details on Kingdom Hearts Missing Link for a couple of months now, especially considering the fact that a lot of people were basically saying it's living up to its name, Missing Link. And it's like, yeah, it's been missing in action for a while, but to be honest, with it being a mobile phone game, I didn't really have that huge of an interest, and... so last week they confirmed that they are going to be releasing an update trailer in regards to the Missing Link game. So it's like, oh, really? Okay. This just came out of nowhere, and then they finally dropped the trailer, and I saw the trailer, and I'm like... This has no right to look as good as it does. This is a mobile phone game. Yet it looks like it should belong to a console/PC system. Why is it just stuck to a mobile phone game? I get that it's a GPS action RPG, which is a weird terminology to use. A GPS RPG, GPS action game? I don't know how that terminology decided to be invented, but it's a saying now. But I guess that makes sense because it's using Google Maps as like its main application and everything like that. But when they showed off the trailer, they showed off the fact that you don't have to be stuck in a particular area in order to explore everything. You can actually jump into different parts of the world map in order to like explore and kind of fight more Heartless and stuff like that. And I'm like, you can what now? I'm sorry, you can what now? I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Not only that, but the game looks so flippin' good. I was like surprised. Like, yeah, whenever I saw the trailer previously, it did look good, but it looked like it had a few little tweaks that it needed to be made. It still has its tweaks that needs to be done from the way it looks, but it looks better. It definitely looks a lot better. And we get more details of more characters that are being introduced. Makes sense, because of it being a new Kingdom Hearts game. And I was just like, why is this stuck to a mobile phone game? Why? I don't know why. It's annoying. I feel so freaking hated because I'm gonna say this. It has no right to be just a mobile phone game. It has zero rights whatsoever. Too much effort would put into this game. And dadgummit if I don't hate them for that. I hate them just for that alone. I'm not going to be playing it because, number one, I try not to have any games on my phone. Otherwise, it would be a huge distraction and I would never get anything done. Secondly of all, microtransactions. I'm having no doubt in my mind that this will have a microtransaction system. Especially when you consider the fact that you are collecting these figure statues and stuff like that in order to do special moves and everything. It involves like distant characters and previously known characters and stuff like that. So I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to have some kind of microtransaction system. I mean, if it's anything, it's directly connected to Union Cross. And Union Cross had a microtransaction system that was integrated into that game. So I have no doubt in my mind that this also follows the same formula as well. Does not surprise me one bit. A few other extra details was expanded upon. For starters, it's going to have a beta test, but as far as what I'm hearing, it's only available for UK and Australian people only. Eh? Excuse me, what? Why? When I heard that detail, I was like, no US? No US beta test? Unless they're only needing a certain number of people, that might be it. And if they don't want to overcrowd the servers, so they're expanding it to the UK and Australia audience in order to try to gauge to see how the system handles it and stuff. And only then will they actually introduce it to the US and stuff. But it has a release date, and that is 2024. When in 2024 is unknown at this current moment in time, but it is slated to be released in 2024, which means after they do this small beta test for UK and Australia, shortly afterwards, I imagine within the next 3-4 months, they will release an update of a beta test for US audience, and then they will finally release it towards probably middle or even towards the end of 2024. I sincerely doubt that ends up being the case. Maybe that might be a little bit faster process, I don't know. I don't know how long it takes for them to read these beta testing and stuff like that. All I know is that they're only going to do it for UK and Australian people. So, details aside, I thought that was a little bit weird. But with that detail of a 2024 release, that makes me wonder, when does Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out? Because technically, during the big Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary trailer and everything like that, among Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, they also showcased Kingdom Hearts 4. And the biggest question that came to mind is, okay, that's great. Question, when's the next update trailer for that? Because my thought process wasn't that we were going to get any more updates for that following year, but I figured this year we get a little bit more details in regards to Kingdom Hearts 4. Sadly, no details. And it looks like there won't be any details, sadly, until probably next year. So, no details as to when Kingdom Hearts 4, no expected release or anything like that. So, yeah, we're looking at a potential 2 years after its original release, and hopefully either by early spring or early summer we will get more updates in regards to Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm hoping. But that also leaves to be the question, because earlier this year we had a little weird thing happen, in regards to the Kingdom Hearts situation, where during the second breast concert of Kingdom Hearts, Tetsuya Nomura shows up on stage basically saying there's no new updates in regards to the games and stuff like that, but there was a new development update that was going on, and this was just thrown out there. This was just thrown out there for everyone to hear and stuff like that. I'm not sure why they decided to do this. It got everybody up on their freaking seats and everything like that, being like, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Turns out it's nothing bad. It's not like a security breach or anything like that, so that's a good thing. That's a sigh of relief. But still, to a point, we have no updates, and we have no idea what's going to happen from here on out. It's like, okay, so what are we... What's going to happen? What are we doing? So, yeah. I am hoping that they will give us more details on Kingdom Hearts 4, but also, to give us a little bit more deeper detail as to their roadmap. For those that don't know, they revealed a roadmap of the Kingdom Hearts next saga, with Kingdom Hearts Remind, and then we have Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, and then, of course, whatever games comes out after those. And yeah, this roadmap is very interesting, because it makes me wonder, how many more games are we going to get? I mean, obviously Kingdom Hearts 4 is one of them, but is there going to be another Kingdom Hearts game, like a Kingdom Hearts 5? That's early to talk about, obviously, but it's just, that's what I'm thinking, we're already getting Kingdom Hearts 4, and it involves Sora in Quadratum, so that much we know for a fact. We don't know any other details aside from that, though, so it's going to be crazy to me to think that, we're still, like, a year and a half in of, like, getting more Kingdom Hearts details, and the only thing we know more of is Missing Link. We know nothing about Kingdom Hearts 4 right now, so it's like, whoo boy, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I want to see when Kingdom Hearts 4, I want to see more details on that one, because whatever they're going to show for Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm obviously going to be excited, but I'm very terrified until I see it. So it's like, oh boy, this is going to be weird, and it's going to be crazy. And now to move on, another update. This particular update comes from Liza P, actually. So, recently on Twitter, there was a update that was going to be revealed. Basically, a director's letter from the director himself, talking about all the details in regards to future developments for Liza P, as well as a thank you courtesy for purchasing over 1 million copies, which is great. That many people purchase Liza P, and it's like, holy crap, that is awesome. So he gave out more details. Obviously, in terms of like the major details, there's going to be a patch note, basically a patch update this coming up month for add-on stuff, whether it be improved scaling of weapons and also added new details and stuff to make the game a little bit easier. from what it sounds like. You know, for example, advanced dodging will be available right off the back, which I thought was strange, but I mean, I guess that makes sense, because some people felt the game was a little bit too hard. I didn't really have that much trouble. I felt the game was, maybe it's because of the fact that I was familiar with the game after its demo release, but I felt like that the very beginning portions of the game was fairly swiftly easy to get through and stuff like that, compared to the first time playing it. You know, whenever I played the demo, it was pretty hard. But after playing through the game and everything like that, it wasn't too bad. But then again, admittedly, the New Game Plus is a lot harder. So, that much I will admit, New Game Plus is way harder each time. But the main game itself isn't too awful, I thought. But that's just me. So, take that for what you will. But, in terms of those patch notes updates, one of them was the fact that next to the scaling of weapons and stuff like that, there's also the fact that the advanced dodging will be available right off the back. You also have the fact that 2 extra quartz will be available in the shop whenever you when you start playing the game, which I thought was interesting, because I was like, huh. So there's 2 extra quartz that you can purchase in the shop right off the back. Okay, that's awesome. Wish I would have known that whenever I beat the game. I literally I platinumed it, like, literally a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, oh, good lord. What am I gonna do? But, so that detail's out there. They also said something about, like, the hat and glasses. They wanted it to have it to where you can combine them. Mostly for people who actually are able to. Obviously, in terms of that, technically I don't have it, but if they showed this update, that means they're also going to update it in which where you will have Fanini's outfit as well as his hat and glasses available, which would be awesome. I thought it'd be like, that's going to be really cool. I hope that becomes available as soon as I boot up the game. I doubt it will be, but it'd be awesome if it has been transformed into a free update, or maybe it's part of the update patch, perhaps, or maybe, I'm not sure. They have also announced that you will have the available to have a particular character, I forget the character's name, but I'll post it up right here. You'll have his outfit, you'll have the mask, as well as his coat, which is cool. That's like the only character that didn't really have a costume present in the game. You know, every other character has had a costume present. That one did not, though. But he will have his available to you, and I'm assuming it's going to be free updated add-on as well. So as soon as the update patch gets released, that will be added on too as well, I imagine. So that'd be really cool. There's no major details as to when the DLC will be released, but he did went on ahead to show like 2 screens of art pieces of the development for the DLC of Lies of P, and looking at it, I'm just like, my mouth is watering like a freaking waterfall, and I'm just like, I cannot wait for you to release the DLC. I am excited for this. I really am, and it's just, whoo, that looks good. That looks good. But it's just, oh my gosh, I just, ooh. I really cannot wait for the DLC to come out. Of course, he didn't want to reveal too much, obviously, for spoiler reasons and stuff like that. He wanted to keep it quiet for the time being right now. But to release those 2 particular art pieces and stuff, it gives off a lot of details. For starters, for number one of them looks like it's going to involve more stuff in regards to the regarding to the alchemist, perhaps, maybe, I'm not sure. There's also the fact that there's also the one where it looks like he's on boats and stuff like that. Does this happen in the way of, like, on the way to the Isle of Alchemists or stuff like that? I'm not sure. Be interesting. And does that mean we could possibly be fighting off against the big fish dog, or what's it called? Monstro. That's right, Monstro. That'd be interesting. The giant whale or fish dog, whichever version of the story that you look at, depending on what the creature is going to look like and stuff. I forget what it is, but either way. So that's going to be interesting if you end up doing that. I doubt it, but it would be crazy if you do. But that Lies of P game is going to be insane to see to see the update patch and them adding on some stuff and everything. Also the DLC, they are working on it, and I cannot wait to hear when that gets released, because once that gets released and revealed, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. And now I want to talk a little bit about Once Upon a Studio. For those that don't know, Once Upon a Studio is Disney's 100th animated special that was going to be released alongside with this new animated feature film that they're releasing known as Wish. And that one is due this month on the 22nd, actually, in theaters. So, technically, Once Upon a Studio was going to be released alongside that. They have also changed that since then and decided to release this earlier for people who wanted to see it more recently. And it was available at first on ABC. And then literally the next day, they were going to release it on Disney+. And it got available that morning. So I got to watch it, and I enjoyed every moment of that. I enjoyed every moment of Once Upon a Studio. That was just a joy to watch, because every single scene that you saw, you got to see a character that either you yourself love or someone else loves. It has practically everyone, I thought. It's like every single reference they could add from every animated feature film they've done in the past. I was just like, oh my gosh, they have not forgotten one. And there was even some that I didn't think was going to actually be part of it. Like, for example, Peace Dragon. I was surprised to see that. Then the two elves from Prep and Landing. Was not expecting that. But it's still crazy. And to me personally, I love seeing the collaboration between the hand-drawn animation stuff and the CG character stuff. To see them kind of perfectly blend in together to give us this wonderful masterpiece of a film. I loved every moment of it. Like, there were some sequences that blend in too well, in my personal opinion. For example, there was a sequence in which where you have basically what looks like the Dalmatians watching Chernobog, obviously from Fantasia, and then you see characters from Mr. Toad as well as Frozen coming up and everything like that. And then after that scene happens, you then have Scrooge hopping off from his painting to seeing the Dalmatians carrying him off, and then Robin Hood and Little John jump in to take the money bags and everything. And I was like, that was done real well. I love that scene. That was too awesome. There was also some other details involving with the dragon from Raya and the Last Dragon. And then, of course, you have Jim Hawkins on his solar sail going through that hallway. That was beautifully well done, I thought. It was all so good in my personal opinion. And it's just, yeah, we can all agree that Disney makes bad decisions. We can agree with that one. But when they make a great decision, they do it out of respect. They do it out of respect for others, from their teams, and to their audience. And whenever they do it right, they just do it right. And sometimes you can't fault that. You know, we all tend to fall back on our faults. Yes, we are allowed to give out our reasons for disputes and why we don't like it and stuff. But we should look at it, we should try to make it as though as if it's like constructive criticism to help them build a better property for themselves, you know? Keep in mind, they are who they are because of us. Because of us as a fan and as us as major audiences, you know? Disney makes mistakes now. This is a company that's no longer in the same line as Walt Disney himself would have been. So therefore, mistakes are going to happen all the time. They're not perfect, but they do try to rebuild after those fumbles. You know, they try to reprimand, they try to mend all those broken details that they have had and try to fix things. And when they fix them, they fix them. They make certain they fix them. Once Upon a Studio was another rekindle of that, yeah, we're a different company now, but we haven't forgotten how we got here. You know, after 100 years, we should never forget how we got started. And that's like the biggest important thing to remember, is that, Yes, this company has lasted for 100 years, and it's all thanks to a single man and his ambitions for animation. And that ambition built up to a multi-trillion-dollar company. I know people might say it's still a multi-billion-dollar, but if you could buy studios and companies for $1 billion, you might as well just upscale that to $1 trillion, okay? It's a multi-trillion-dollar company. I don't care what you think. I guess I could talk a little bit more about Disney, because there's been like some updates in regards to like development and everything like that. Mostly rumor based, and really I don't want to talk about those rumors. But out of all those rumors, they just keep escalating more and more and more. For example, the first set of rumors was that, oh, are we going to be expecting a Moana 2, a Zootopia 2? What about a Frozen 3? To be honest, I see a Frozen 3 in the future. I do not see a Zootopia 2 or a Moana 2, in my personal opinion. Not saying that I wouldn't want it, but I don't see it. But I see a Frozen 3. Compared to what Frozen 1 and 2 has done in the box office, they are like guarantee sellers. So it makes sense for me that they would go ahead and make a third Frozen film. And technically, in terms of like official animated feature films in their category log, this will be the first film trilogy that we get. We've had film sequels, like for example, Rescuers Down Under, and then Wreck-It Ralph Break the Internet. But to have a Frozen 3, this would be the first trilogy that we got out of the animated feature films. I know some people may say, well, what about the Aladdin series? Well, from what I understood, Aladdin, Return to Jafar, and then The King of Thieves were not made in that same animated feature film theoretical releases. This was made for direct-to-VHS/DVD, of course. Yeah, that's probably why. But that also technically is like, Return to Jafar was like the launch of the animated series of Aladdin, and then King of Thieves was like the season finale of it, or series finale per se. So it's like, I think that's what it was. So that makes sense. So to me, yeah, I agree. Aladdin was like the first original animated trilogy film that we've ever gotten. But in terms of official theoretical releases, Frozen would be the first trilogy, technically. And like I said, I can definitely see a Frozen 3 being made. But right now, that's been rumored to be like in development and stuff like that. And we all know how this happens. During development, things can change. I mean, heck, they've teased the living hell out of Gigantic, and you know what happened to that? That went gone. So, Frozen 3, if it continues to linger and stay, it will eventually see a release. But right now, it's still kind of rumored to be in development right now. Then we also have the live-action films. Oh, we have a list. We have a list of all the different live-action films that have been rumored to be in the works. One of them being technically Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And that one has been a questionable one. A very questionable one. It's questionable in terms of, like, what we have gotten in terms of, like, details, as well as, like, story bits and everything like that, whether it be like Snow White and what her drive is and everything like that, to whether or not the Seven Dwarfs were even going to be included. So yeah, it's been a ride, we'll say. It's been a ride, but as far as it sounds like that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs will be the next live action film that will be made, sadly. Yeah, and they've still got more that they have talked about wanting to make and everything like that. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that say, why are we still getting these live-action animated feature films? They don't need to exist. Some people would say they suck. Some people say they're awful. Here's the saying. Someone out there loves them. Someone out there wants to see more live-action stuff. It is getting old and tired, I admit. I've kind of lost interest in it after, like, what was it? I guess recently it was technically The Little Mermaid. I lost interest in it. But there was something that came out before that one. I think it was Maleficent 2 that I lost interest in. Then there was Cruella. I was like, technically, 101 Dalmatians got a live-action film. And that was like the first of the live-action film. And I thought that was better than Cruella. But then again, I hadn't watched Cruella, so I have no personal opinion on that one. I just didn't see it because I had no interest in it. In a way, the live-action stuff has lost interest in me. But a lot of people still have interest in them. So I say let them enjoy it. And if you have zero interest in watching the live-action films, don't watch them. The only way Disney is going to know not to make more is if they don't make more money. You do not have to watch them. And if you don't watch them, they'll know not to make any more. But there's going to be people who do want to watch them and will still pump out money because of those people. So we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, if there are a lot of people who want to watch them, let them watch them. Let them enjoy them for what they are and stuff like that. And if you don't want to watch them, you don't have to watch them. Let's give the people to choose what they want, you know? At any rate, though, I do want to talk a little bit about the collecting scene and in regards to gaming and stuff like that, because I did that in the last video, so I'm going to do it again this time. I know I talked about wanting to get Lords of the Fallen, but I was a little bit hesitant about wanting to get Lords of the Fallen. The reason is that whenever I looked at the recent gameplay for it and stuff like that, I don't know, I just kind of lost interest in it. I guess it felt the same as Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen, next to its appearance, the gameplay wasn't that good either. And when looking at this new Lords of the Fallen, it felt the same, unfortunately. It felt the same. It felt its unusual heaviness and its lackluster field. The bosses look incredible, so don't get me wrong on that one. The bosses do look incredible, but I just don't have the same drive as I did with Lies of P. Lies of P was like a refreshing drink or something like that. This one feels like the same repetitive soda that you would drink over and over and over again, whereas Lies of P was like a new tasting drink or something like that, you know? What seems more appealing to you? To me, Lies of P was more appealing to what Lords of the Fallen looks like. I'm not saying it's something that should be frowned upon, because if you love Lords of the Fallen, that's all that matters. You know, if you loved it and everything like that, that's all that should matter, really. I just liked Lies of P better, so there's that. But yeah, I hadn't had interest in Lords of the Fallen. Then again, there's also the fact that I'm also trying to rebuild money again because of Christmas and stuff like that, so if I do get Lords of the Fallen, it's because I actually had the spare money and I felt like, I want to dive into this now. Right now, it's not an immediate buy for me at the moment, so there's that. I've also been replaying through Devil May Cry 3. For those that don't know, I have another channel known as BlackCross Favorite Games, and I brought it back by playing through Devil May Cry 3. And I've been replaying through that in order to try to platinum it. Not an easy task to do. What's even more crazier is that I thought about it and I thought to myself, I want to platinum all of the Devil May Cry games. Not the DMC, for those that are asking. Are we doing DMC? No, I am not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I do want to platinum all 1 through 5 of Devil May Cry. And that's going to be crazy because each Devil May Cry game gets insanely crazier, we'll say. You know, it's not insanely difficult because if you pace yourself, I don't think it would be difficult. But it will be a challenge. It will be. So that much I will say for right now. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I also need to try to work on the Witcher 3 series for the Favorite Games channel. So be on the lookout for that, guys. And I'm not going to say right now, but eventually a new development is going to happen in regards to my room. When that will be, I don't know, but be on the lookout for more updates and when those updates will come to be, because it's going to be interesting how the rest of this year is going to be and how the start of the new year is going to turn out. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys later.